And hello there. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Bassin Magazine podcast. Guys, Bassin Magazine is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler. I'm Jay Angel. I'm going to be your host. And with me tonight, I have Brad Yule from Bassin Magazine. How are you doing tonight, Brad?
Hey, I'm good. Hope you're doing well, Jay.
Oh, I'm doing well. I got a little Christmas present. And I'd like to show the folks that. And the Christmas present was from Duo International, from our very good friend, David Swenseid.
Yeah.
First thing I'd like to show the folks, Duo International Finder Shad 3-inch. And look at this color. I mean, this color, this thing, I would drop shot this.
Oh, yeah. The action on that tail, man, that's awesome.
This is like a do-nothing.
Is that, they have little fins, little halfway fins? Oh, yeah.
Look at that. But still.
Yeah. Man.
And that's,
I bet, so that's a Duo International Finder Shad. I bet those fins move some water. If you just barely move that bait, the action that some of the Duo baits have on them, I bet that really, really moves in the water. That's amazing.
I couldn't believe that's on the other end of the spectrum. This is one of those things, that you almost don't want to use. Because it's just too cool. And guys, Brad and I were discussing this. Is this a topwater bait? Is it a glide bait? Look at that. 3.
I bet that's a glide bait. Deprive.
Yeah, I bet you this is kind of negatively buoyant.
Yeah.
Look at that. Those are you see those are actual cuts that go all the way through the bait.
Wow.
I mean, there's some craftsmanship here.
I'm gonna look that up real fast. Deprive. That might be new and not even released yet in America. That might be just a Japanese bait that they haven't even put out yet.
Yeah, if you can see that, guys, it says Deprive.
I'm going to get on the website and look. Guys, when we rebroadcast this on, we're live right now, but when we rebroadcast this on YouTube, we'll see if I can't get some different pictures for you and stuff.
Oh, and look at this. It's hard to tell with David Swenseid, man. The guy is just next level. There's another color of that Finder Shad.
Yeah, man, I really like that Finder Shad. About 2 or 3 years ago, they came out with a Duo came out with V-tail, and man, I love that V-tail bait on a drop shot. It's perfect. I would love to throw those. That tail and the action, the softness of the plastic that they use. That's man. I'd really like to use that. So the Deprive bait by Duo. Here, I'm gonna read this real fast and show you. That's a pretty big bait. This is a collaborative development between Duo and Corman. I'm unfamiliar with Corman, but that's pretty cool. It's for sea bass, and the 2 jointed body sections, it helps perform a seductive S-curving action. So it's that swim bait action that you're going for, and it is perfect to the timing of the bite. It says that's pretty cool. I haven't found how many colors they have or anything, but that Deprived bait, that's pretty neat.
Here's a square bill. See, it came in this package.
The no-name crank. Hey, when we had David on a couple of weeks ago, he talked about the no-name crank and the different testing that they did to finally develop that and get it out onto the market.
You see that detail, though?
Yeah, that craw, that's cool.
I mean, square bill, guys. This is a big old fat square bill. You got,
turn that sideways real fast, Jay. Is that a circuit board? It looks like, yeah, circuit board bill. That's really good against the rocks. That's not on the Duo website. I don't see it anywhere. But David talked about that a couple weeks ago. That looks good. And they all come with super sharp hooks. I mean, you better be careful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's pretty much the way the industry's going. You know, I work with a company called Vector Hooks, and you know, they're early on I started saying freaking Vector hooks because every time I had one out, it would end up in my fingers.
Right.
And I guess a lot of people, here's something that's really interesting. Now,
Boost Star Wake. Let's see what's on there. Is that a big plastic wake bait? That is pretty cool. Boost Star. Let's see.
What would it's 5 inches long?
Oh, it's got little fins underneath it too.
Yes, guys. Here,
yeah, here. I got
it.
Jay, you're a little bit froze right there. Oh, there you are. There's a good picture of those fins.
Yeah, you can see them like right there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. Man, now, that's pretty cool.
Now, Brad, would you Texas rig this thing? Would you put it on the back of a jig and the back of a...
You could do that. You could put it on a shaky head and drop it down and drag it across so it looks like a dying shad. The plastic combination that they use is so soft that you're going to get a lot of tail action that way. I would probably put it on a screw head and use it as a big swim bait. They also come in with 3.5, and I bet the 3.5 fits perfect on an A rig.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah. They got 12, 15, 17 different colors. So,
well, that's Duo.
Yeah.
Duo doesn't mess around.
That big one, you could probably go just on a single hook. Yeah, that one you showed. If you used a 4/0 or a 5/0 big hook, and you know, you don't even people associate swim baits with wintertime fishing, plastic swim baits like that. If you did that in the summertime on that big bait and just made a wake across the top of the water as slow as you could reel it with no weights on just that big hook, you're going to get a monster topwater bite off that.
So in the wintertime, what would you do with it? Just Texas rig it, go up against trees? And
yeah, 3.5 inch, you know, on an A rig would be good. If you put that on an underspin with a lead head with the blade underneath the hook, it would be killer. You got the flash from the blade, and you got the tail action kicking water and moving water, and they're feeling that vibration from the blade and the tail. I think cold water situation, that's a good bait. You know, a bait that you can use year round in different situations is amazing. So to have that as a summertime bait and a wintertime bait, it's a must carry in your tackle box. That's pretty good.
And here's
a wiggle crawler, 5.8 inch.
And here it is.
How soft is that? Hold it by, I mean, it just, yeah. A perfect wacky rig. Think of the movement you would get over a Cinco style bait.
You'd have to use a little smaller hook on this?
Yeah.
And skin hook it.
Yeah. Put a rubber band in the middle, put your hook through the rubber band, and both ends drop down like this. And every time you move it, both ends move. I mean, you could just like that, and both ends are going to move. People put nail weights in the end of the Cincos, you know, and then they just move it, and that Cinco moves. You don't even need the nail weights with that bait. I mean, and what a natural color for a worm. I mean, clear water, dirty water, whatever. The worm looks just like that.
See, I wacky rig a little bit differently than most people. I would put a smaller hook in, and I would skin hook it, like right here.
Yeah.
So I can throw that out against the cypress trees, and it's gonna do this the whole way down,
Yeah, and then you don't have an exposed point of the hook to catch on a knob of the cypress tree.
And you know what? That's kind of the cost of doing business, even if that does happen. But also, look at how many are in here, guys.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if you lose one and you lose a size 4 hook, here's something else that's really kind of different. Oh, I can't get this thing open, but here, I'll cut it open. But
oh man, yeah.
And they're 20 of them, 3.8 inches long. I mean, if this time of the year down here in the South, where the bass are kind of, cold water, bass are kind of, or if they're on their beds, I mean, you throw something like this at them with a small hook and it just kind of flutters down.
They're not going to. Oh, sorry, Jay, go ahead.
Those bass aren't used to seeing something like this come at them. They're used to seeing an ounce piece of lead with a 5-inch thing of plastic on the back of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna show. There's one way to rig it right there.
Yes.
And, I mean, the action of it, so that tail falls down, that tail kind of floats, it stands up perfect like that. That's hooked in the middle with just a wacky rig right there. They did have it on a weight, but that's weightless right there. The action of that, man, that is cool. It comes in 8 colors on their website. Duo website has 8 colors on it. It's duo-international.com. Guys, these are high quality Japanese baits imported in the United States.
We got that on the crawler at the bottom, guys.
Oh, okay.
And when I think of David Swenseid, what do you think? What comes to your mind when you think of David Swenseid and baits?
Well, if I'm going to say this, then the readers out there, the listeners, the watchers, our audience, they're going to associate Duo with the spy baiting technique. And David Swenseid brought spy bait. See, I mean, we didn't even plan that. I mean, you just can't talk about Duo without spy bait. And guys, Duo brought spy baiting to the United States. David Swenseid did that. Those two go with each other, and these are different baits from that company that introduced spy baiting from Japan into the United States. And that looks
look
like
at this color.
Look at that color. Is that a spin bait 80? What was that?
Spin bait. Yes, it's a spin bait. It's a spin bait 80. Guys, one thing, the southern anglers like to use heavy line and heavy bait casters. The spin bait 80 was designed for a smaller line and a spinning rod.
Right.
This one right here, it's meant to just throw it out and let it sink. You count it down, you let it sink, and then you start pulling it, and it doesn't take anything to get this thing spinning.
I don't have one on me, but that bait is designed when it sinks. I mean, it sinks horizontal. It doesn't sink like this. It doesn't sink head first. It sinks horizontal. You want it to come down, and what I've caught just a few fish on spy bait technique. I'm still learning. I love to do it. It's fun. It's interesting because it's totally different. But you let that bait sink, and I wait. I'm on 6-pound line. I throw it on Seaguar line, and when I feel it hit bottom in that first thunk, I just lift my rod tip and just slow, and it'll go horizontal along the bottom. So long cast with real light line, good knots. A knot is important, but that's the way that I've learn the spy bait. I can't wait to fish with David one day and learn how it goes. Man, that looks good.
This is a spy bait or spin bait 90.
90.
And look at that color, man. That's just what I like about Duo. They are so good at colors.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say enough about them. Have you caught any largemouth on spy baiting?
I haven't. And, just throwing it out, not really knowing where I'm fishing, what I'm doing to catch some smallmouths. And I caught a good quality 2.5, 3 pound smallmouth, 18.5-inch smallmouth. I mean, it was a good fish. Don't get me wrong. It's just a technique that, like we talk every podcast, Jay, confidence. If you're going to go out and throw it, are you going to catch fish in a pond with it? Who knows, right? But if you do, then you're going to grow confidence in that bait. I was fishing it in smallmouth waters and just caught a few. In a couple times that I've done it, I just need to do it more. Yeah, golly, that looks so good. The prism on that.
Mark Davis won the first ever Bassmaster Kayak Series championship spy baiting in some horrible conditions. Rising or cold, the month of March in Alabama. And, he said he was fishing cow pasture effluent that was coming in and he found just a little almost on the shore. He found a little pocket where there was a little bit of water, like right up that wasn't quite as dirty. And he started spy baiting up in that.
Really?
And he won enough to win the tournament in his kayak because, you couldn't have gotten up there in that kind of water with a boat.
Right.
And here's some stuff. You just mentioned Seagar.
Oh, yeah. The Kansan, that's good braid. The good braid.
60-pound braid. When I throw that hard swim bait, because I want it coming back.
Oh yeah.
And if you throw it in an aluminum bathtub, you're not going to catch any fish. So, if you're conservative in the way you use your lures, you're not going to catch a whole lot with them. Here's some more dark green braid, 50-pound from
Daiwa. Good old braid. That's good braid too. I like that braid. I have some of that. Yep. J-braid's what I have on top water.
And here's some stuff for spy baiting.
I have not thrown that. 6 pound though. That's perfect for a spy bait. You're absolutely right. Yep.
Also good for wacky rigging.
Man, Santa came early to your house, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swenseid came early to my house.
Excellent.
Here's some more of the Swenseid.
Yeah, I haven't thrown the Swenseid yet. That's good.
So, anyways, I'd like to thank David Swenseid and the boys over at Duo International for a generous contribution to my Christmas.
Yeah, also, I'm glad that you got this. I'm glad that we were able to share with the viewers, because bringing new products, things that aren't mainstream media, if you will, that's what Bassin's about. It's mom and pop all the way to the big guys like Duo, and it's stuff that the readers have never seen before because it's all about catching more fish. If we can help you catch more fish, then that's what we want to do. So, Jay, I got a monster tackle box. I'd like to open it and
absolutely, man. Let's see what you got.
Yeah. So we can see. It did come earlier this week, but I knew we were doing the podcast and a special edition Thursday night podcast because we both had Wednesday stuff going on. But we're here today, guys.
Christmas screws everything up, man.
Yeah. Holiday season, guys. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Right. First off is a Fat Baby Finesse worm from Strike King. It's KVD plastic. I like these. I wacky rig these, but in front of the ribbon,
now,
the fat part of the worm. So I do it right here because that tail has so much action, and it kind of was like that
Wow.
video. You can bend that and make it a whole.
Now, how are you hooking these, man?
Touch, really tiny, one eye maybe on a jig head so it sinks.
Okay, so you're using a jig head. Okay.
Yeah. I like those. That's a good bait. Let's see what else is in here. Well, you bring it up, and that's what you get. So this is the rubber band I was talking about with the tool.
Sure. That's one way to do it, guys. You know, your wacky worms will last longer if you use the rubber band. I don't personally use the rubber band because I started wacky rigging back in 1998, and like Brad and I talk about it every podcast, I have confidence in hooking and physically hooking the worm. I like to skin hook them now. Now, actually, it was Derek Hudnall who got me turned on to that. Before that, I used to go all the way through the worm. Skin hooking it just has a little bit more action, and sometimes it's just the small things that catch you that extra fish.
You bring that up because when I fish a worm, I go through the worm. But when I fish a lizard, it's a confidence thing. It's something that I learned a long time ago. I go through the head of the lizard, and I always come out the side of the lizard, not the top or the bottom of the lizard, because if it sits on the flat, the hook's on the side. But if you put it in the middle of the worm, and then the lizard rolls over, to me, who knows, right? But I always skin hook a lizard, and I don't skin hook a worm. When you said that, I was like, I need to start doing that. So that's good you bring that up.
That's one way that has made me grow as a fisherman, to try new things.
Right. And we've talked about so much over the past year, just new stuff. It's good, and that's what the listeners and the readers and the watchers, they learn something new, or they hear something new, and they want to go try it also. So, in that Monster Bass box is Monster Bass nail weights. That's what I was talking about. Those are adjustable. Clip them off, put half of one, a quarter of one in the end of a worm, and make that head sink down and that tail stick up. And
Nico rigging, yeah.
Some mustad hooks for that wacky Nico hook style. I'm getting glare. There we go. Good mustad hooks.
Now are those single hooks? Those kind of look like treble hooks. Because
they're single. There's 6 to a pack. You can see that double right there. Okay. Yeah.
One's just backwards, yeah.
So 4 pieces. Okay. Be perfect for the wacky rig. Pro Series X Zone Plinko style stick bait. Good color.
Okay.
It says they call it a true center stick, but it doesn't have the color on there. But that brown, that natural brown, earth silver on the back. Everybody calls them all something different, but that's good for wacky rigging. You always take two rods in your boat. So this is a 13 fishing Flatty Daddy 65 crankbait square bill.
Ooh, so it's a flat side.
Yep.
Love those flat sides, like the Fritz side. Yeah.
Yeah. This is called a Flatty Daddy in craw pattern.
Daddy.
So that square bill, helps. Lunker candy. This is a smaller crankbait here. Sugar Daddy 6.
Sugar Daddy.
by Lunker Candy.
Yeah.
Sugar Daddy 6. And Thunderhawk lures, guys. I've
Thunderhawk, huh?
Their stuff, Thunderhawk. This is their lipless crank. I can't get my light to turn off. Technical difficulties. There we go. That's their lipless in the shad with the blue, just barely on the bottom, and chartreuse just barely on the top. ThunderhawkLures.com on that, and of course your monthly Monster Bass sticker.
Okay. So this is Monster Bass. If somebody, monsterbass.com.
Monsterbass.com, and I think you can use Bassin 10 for 10% off your first order, your first box, I think. So, and in this box, you get a free Thunder Cricket from Strike King on your first order, $20 or more. Use code MBTC. Who doesn't like free lures?
Yeah. I like them. There we go. Monsterbass.com.
Monsterbass.com.
Guys, now they have monthly subscriptions, Brad.
Yeah, monthly box. Pretty cool. You can get new lures that you might not be able to get at Walmart or things like that. Your local retailer, Academy, Dick's, whatever. I mean, different colors. Colors are situated from Monster Bass for your region. So, if you live in New York, your colors are going to be different in your box than they are here in Oklahoma. So, or your colors in Louisiana, Jay, might be different than the colors I get. Monsterbass.com.
Sure. As they should be. As they should be. I have a couple more things I'd like to show.
Yeah. I interrupted you. I thought you were done. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. We wanted to get into Monster Bass stuff first.
Well, while you're getting that, they have a booklet, and they show you how to rig it, what's in your box, depth and location, gear selection, or suggestion, stories from their pros, here's a story from Bernie Schultz inside there, and it's how-to fishing too, so it fits really well with Bassin. What you should throw, how to rig. They go into depth, and this booklet comes in every single one of their boxes too. So if you're new to a style and you order that box, they're going to explain to you how to use it.
Okay, one more minute here. I see some right now. If I can get to it.
I'm gonna show these spy baits, all the different styles of spy baits that Duo has. The G-Fix, that's my favorite. It's what I've learned how to fish and got confidence in. The Alpha has a bigger body, not so long and slender, but it's shorter. And if they're feeding on bait fish, if you're catching smallmouth and you see them, in your throat, or see them scattering around shad or something, I really like that one too. And it's duointernational.com.
A good friend of mine has a company here in Vidalia, Louisiana, which is just about 2 hours north of where I live in Baton Rouge, called Shongaloo Outdoors.
Shongaloo Outdoors. Is that the website also?
Yeah, Shongaloo Outdoors.
Ooh, look at that creature bait.
This is a creature bait. Do something like this, Brad.
That glare is killing me. I'm sorry. What was your question? What'd you say?
When would you use something like this? This pushes a lot of water.
Yeah, it moves a lot of water. I think that you would probably make them bad if that was in their bed while they were spawning. I don't know your hookup ratio. If you talking about skin hooking, if you're fishing beds, you might want to skin hook plastics and get better bites in a bed. So if you threw that in the bed, you might skin hook, but
and this
a lot of these are great.
This is also Shongaloo Outdoors. A lot of these are a lot bigger than this. Is like a
hold the craw part up. Is the outside of the craw a lot thicker? Because when that flutters, that's going to help move that craw, and you can almost swim it. Oh yeah, man, that's really nice. Oh yeah, that's really thick on
Like
the
I said,
outside. Crawdads.
you can
Yep,
get these just about any place in central Louisiana. They're really
guys,
big in central Louisiana.
Shongaloo Outdoors, or it's just shongaloo.com for their baits.
Shongaloo. And
They've
I
got
fish with
square
the
bill,
owner.
they got square bill,
Charles,
they got tungsten and plastics crankbaits.
I'm going to go and fish a tournament with, a club event this Sunday, and he's about as honest as a day is long. Just a great, hardworking man. He's also a principal at an alternative school in Vidalia, Louisiana. Charles Anderson is just, Brad. That's the kind of company I like to stand behind. It's the kind of company that I know the owner, just like you do a lot of times.
Absolutely.
Know the owner. I can call him at his house, and he's going to talk to me. But that's Shongaloo Outdoors. Just like Duo and David Swenseid. We both know him well.
Right.
You've been working with David for years.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's so, guys. These are some good Christmas present ideas. Buy your the fisherman in your life a Monster Bass subscription for a year. He'll love you, man, because that's going to last an entire year.
Right.
He's going to
get every month.
A box of stuff, and goodness.
Yeah, I think they have 1, 3, 6, and year subscriptions. They have 3 different size boxes, so there's plenty out there for every budget. Every angler's gonna love that for Christmas.
One thing I used to do for my father when I was working offshore, I just get on there and order him a whole assortment of stuff, and he'd start getting packages coming to his house, and he knows nobody else would do that for him.
Yeah, but that's fun. You come home, you check the mail, it's something positive in the mail instead of just negative stuff, and it's not a bill or whatever, and you can have a new lure, and you're excited, and go out and catch a fish over the weekend, and you do that. And Jay and I want to know, and we want to see it, and you can subscribe to Bassin and see your picture in Bassin.
Yeah, guys, if you hear a tip on this show and you take it out there and catch a fish, man, or Brad and I are both on Facebook, just message one of us and we'll do a shout out to you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
I love hearing stories like that. I love that, man. That makes it all worthwhile. Because let me tell you, doing podcasts is a lot of work. In fact, that's the first thing I told Brad when we were talking about doing a podcast. I said, Brad, podcasts are a lot of work, but I love it. It's a labor of love for me. But man, when you guys give me some feedback. Oh, look at this. We got a comment. It's Cajun Rob, our old buddy. Talked to him today, and he said, love the spy bait from Duo.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's shooting 100% for us now. Cajun Rob has commented on every one of the Bassin Magazine podcasts so far.
That's awesome.
He has also won in 2 out of our 3 raffles we've had. Cajun Rob has won.
Giveaways, that's awesome. Something when it's Christmas time.
He got his stuff from Duo like last week.
Good.
He sent me a picture of it. He said he got one of the square bills and one of the wiggle worms. So, guys, that's all the time we have for today. But I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the Bassin Magazine podcast. Guys, Bassin Magazine is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. I'd like to thank Brad.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jay. As always.
Oh, and here's oops. We have you guys going to do a compilation of technical difficulties.
I dropped the camera. Jay's
Thank
kind of
you.
cut out. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's a lot of editing. It's a lot of editing to do that.
That's the hard part of living in southern Louisiana.
Right.
Or I can pay an extra $100 a month to AT&T for getting their fiber line.
Yeah. No shout out to AT&T right now. Brad's not real happy with AT&T, so.
Yeah, well, I never have been. So
3 days without a phone. But you know what? It's not AT&T's fault. It's truly my fault. So it's all right. But all right, Jay. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'm going to end the podcast with that. Thank you guys again. And we will not do a podcast next week because of the Christmas holidays, but we will be back on and working hard at it on the first of the year.
Yep, and shout outs tonight, Monster Bass, Duo International, and Shongaloo. Thank you guys.